What's going on, everybody? We are in the new Adopt Me test lab for this week, and we are going to be trying out the mini game that is coming with the Easter event this week. It is, what is it? I can't even remember, but it'll show soon. But so this was shown on the Weekly News this morning, and if you can tell, it is a game where you just catch these eggs that are being fired from cannons. Then you can see when every time you catch one, you get a point or two or three. The color of the egg determining that looks like the blue is two, and the yellow is three, and the green is one. So obviously, like most of the games, you want to see how many. Probably prioritize the yellow ones, but uh, for the most part, it's just one of those kind of chaotic ones where at least it's not like anybody else gets it first. You're all playing together, but you're all playing independently at the same time. So, you know, it's still just it's very similar, I think, to the lunar game that they had, where you had to pick up the different rice dishes or noodle dishes. So anyway, I got a paltry 1880 that time, but it's my first time playing. You get a look around here at some of the what the area is going to look like and some of the stands there, but nothing on display. And really, this is all about the um, testing the test lab right now, the game, and nothing else. If you've never seen the test lab before, well, it's pretty much a separate server where they basically spin up an instance of the adoptme that only has the update, maybe only the minigame. You don't have your pets, you don't even have your avatar, which is why I kind of just threw on this egg avatar to get in the spirit. The only person that does seem to have theirs is Jesse there, who is not Jesse, but really is Jesse because no one else has a blue and black shirt like that. But anyway, it's a good, just little test lab sandbox for them to try out the updates. And if you want to get access to it, you just got to join the Discord, and that's where they paste the link. So here I am on round two, trying to, you know, build on my existing strategy of knowing that the yellows are most valuable and assuming if I just go for those, that I will profit. And full disclosure, I am doing a voiceover because, like I said, they don't always announce. Um, they kind of announce out of the blue sometimes on the Discord when the test lab is open. I should have expected it because they do it usually before every update like this. But I started recording and then went through all this and found out that I had my mic on mute, and so I had to do a voiceover for this entire thing. But um, so yeah, at this point, I was feeling pretty good about it. I was feeling that at least I knew what to do, what to go after, how to maximize my points. But mostly just going after those golds and seeing if a blue came by every once in a while, I'd go for that. And got myself up to a more reasonable score, but not near where I think it should be. So typically there are not a ton of people allowed in these things. They can fill up, and I've tried to join them before when they were full, and so you'll often see a lot of the staff in there, like you suggested there. You see a couple of the influencers. Not any of them that I normally talk to. The ones with the yellow star there, and there's Tinkers in here as well, who is a mod and runs a cool channel you guys should check out as well, Totally Tinkers. So yeah, you should see a lot of people from the game in here, and a lot of names you'll probably recognize. Uh, but so anyway, a bit about I guess the update was that is coming Thursday. It is only 2 weeks this time. It is in that first week we are going to have the egg basket, which is going to have egg pets in it, which is kind of weird. They're not eggs you hatch, they are eggs with legs, and they are your pets. I think there are three of them. There is I'm already spacing on it. I think there was a rare one that was spotted. There was one that was like floral. I think there was ultra rare, and then legendary lined striped one or something. So I don't know. It's kind of weird, but and you never can tell what's going to be popular and what's going to take off. I'm sure the legendary one will get you some overpays early on, but might you know I mean, I'd be in huge demand afterwards. Um, but then again, I didn't think the hairs were from going to be from Christmas, but I think I traded a mega candy hair for a mega Skelerex, which was pretty good win there. So you never know. Anyway, at this time, my the score is still ticking up, and you know, still. I mean, after you play one of these games for a few times, it becomes pretty apparent what you need to do to get a pretty high score every time. There was a little question on whether or not we were actually able to record this or not. Let's see, people saying in the chat that you can, and that goes back to um, but I think it actually might have said in the Discord announcement you can't, but it used to be when the test lab was open, there would be a giant watermark across the screen that was like "Do not leak," and I think it even had your username so that if you did share screenshots, it would obviously show your name on there, and you'd I don't know, probably at least get banned from Discord, maybe even the game. But they maybe loosened that now. I wasn't quite sure. I started recording before Jesse even said that, yeah, you can record it and share it. Uh, somebody I used to work with was fond of saying it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission, which, is sometimes right, but sometimes can get you into trouble. But anyway, we have the green light to share this one. And so I can't remember if this was the game where I started to finally figure out, hey, you know what? You don't actually have to catch these things, even though you have a basket on your head. That for a good 3 seconds or so, I would say, after they land, that you can still pick them up off the ground. And that is a game changer right there because then you can, I mean, even when you're heading towards those gold ones, if you see a blue one like fall right near you, then you just divert your course a little bit, or you can even start to kind of plan your route out based on where things are falling, and knowing that you're gonna have a couple seconds to get them all in a one fell swoop. So, there I am up to 3110, which is got to be getting near probably the max based on previous games that we've seen. Um, so they're going to need the currency because things are, getting more expensive. Uh, Most of the events, we look at the cost of boxes in the past few events have been typically in the realm of 20,000, I think even 21,000 maybe at one point for one of the boxes. And when you do the math, I mean, if you're getting 3,000 per mini game, then you're looking at probably around 7 mini games to be able to get enough currency for one of the boxes. And that's so we have a mini game every 10 minutes in the every day in the adoptme, which is 10 minutes. So that's an hour and 10 minutes that you have to play just to get a single box. So you really want to maximize all your methods there. Um, and so, yeah, at this point, I definitely was like, let's get all the eggs. But it can, you can get distracted. You think, you see that yellow and, it's right next to you, but then you sit there waiting for, 3 or 4 seconds for that thing to come. The next time you could be spending going and get the rest of the eggs. So I think probably the best strategy really is to keep on the move. Keep on the move towards the yellow ones that you can get and get any like blue ones you see along the way. I don't know why I didn't go up and get that yellow one. Got distracted by the wrong color there, but uh, anyway, yeah, the I would imagine we're going to see the same kind of if we're seeing 3,000 or so for the mini game here, or now I'm back below 3,000. Then I think we can be assured that we're going to see about the same kind of cost, which is going to be around 20 grand for the box. If they do have a legendary that you can get for currency to probably be around 100,000 eggs. Not cheap. We may not actually see a whole lot of things for sale on this event though, because it is only 2 weeks. So the first week will obviously have some items, petware, vehicles, things of that nature, and then we'll have that box with the 3 pets. There is one Robux pet that they announced that was the cotton candy check, I think, something for 600 Robux. I think it's an ultra rare. But, and then we'll only have week two after that. So unless they're going to introduce a whole lot of pets for week two, then there might not be a whole lot to spend it on. So maybe it won't feel like such a crunch now with like it usually does. And honestly, I prefer these 2 week mini games or these 2 week events over the 4 week. Those 4 week like Halloween and Christmas events are they sort of get burned out by the end after you've been playing the same mini games for 3 weeks and you've been buying these pets and you're like, okay, well, I can just get one more, but by the end of it, I'm like, whatever. I'm just gonna start trading what I have and anything that I still need, I'll just uh, trade for because I just can't stand to play it anymore. And it's time consuming to do all those things. And I'm a builder by nature mostly in the game, and you just can't do that when you're in the middle of building and every 10 minutes you've got a mini game popping up. So you either gotta say I'm not gonna do it, or I'm just not gonna do the event, or I'm just not gonna build. So there's 3,200, and that was my best score of the test lab. I think other people said that that was something they got. This is interesting, though. They have on the task board, they had some of these collect these eggs in the game, and it got you more in-game currency. And so, typically throughout most of the events, they had um, just two ways of doing that. Then you would get mini games, of course, as a usually primary method, and then there would be some method on the map of getting it. That was typically, the ice skating on the lake or uh, on the river in the winter, or the lunar event they had the kites, and then in the Easter events they typically have the egg hunt, which will probably return. But now looks like they're trying some other ways, and they did this over Christmas too. They had that one-time exchange of 3,500, I think, adoptme bucks for like 70,000 gingerbread, which is a pretty good deal, really. I mean, oh, that got you like at least 3 boxes, or it would get you a couple of pets, maybe like one ultra rare, or like a couple of rares, or multiple commons and uncommons or something. But it was a good way of because people are always like, oh, I've got all these bucks, but then you start over and you can't use it in the events. So it's kind of a good way. I don't know that they'll do it for this one because it is shorter, but then you saw they have that task, so maybe they'll do a daily task. Maybe who knows? Maybe it'll refresh more than one time a day, and just another way for you to kind of get some of that event currency without having to do the mini game grind all day, every day. And there I'm back down to 29.60. So and then, even once you figure out how to score, you're not always guaranteed to get above that 3,000 mark. So, um, and Jesse does mention that there's going to be more ways to get the currency in week two, but doesn't say what exactly that's going to be. So we'll have to wait and see. Um, I thought it was interesting that they did mention on the weekly news this morning that there's going to be a event coming after this one. Well, they didn't say event. They said something is going to be coming that is a fan favorite, and so there's been a lot of speculation on Discord what that might be. A few people saying, well, we're going to see maybe the return of the fairground, and maybe they'll do a chimpanzee fairground or something like that. One idea I saw somebody had was that they would bring back the butterfly sanctuary that they had a couple years back, but this time it would be a moth sanctuary, which would be pretty cool because we don't really have a lot of those. There's some things like ice moths, but I don't know if they have any just really good. And there's so many neat looking moths out there. Like you could have a legendary, the Death's Head hawk moth, which is the one from the old Silence of the Lambs movie. That's the moth that has like looks like a skull on its back, but they could even use that for Halloween. But So well, I guess we won't know, but and probably won't know for at least like probably 2 weeks. They may tease a little bit, but we've got this event coming up. I'm not even sure why they mentioned it to get everyone so hyped up. Let's make it through Easter first. So here we are. Finished another game. Still, still sliding backwards now about how much I'm getting, but if I can just get somewhere around the 3,000, then I'll be happy. You know, the big question that everyone um, they mentioned it that more stuff is coming in the week too. But the big question that everyone always wonders is how much do you get for AFK, which is should you get any for AFK? There's always kind of that big debate, and I think adoptme has gone back and forth on this subject themselves because look back over the past year of events, like Spring Fest, I think they got a pretty good amount, and then I recall in Summerfest they started out where you were getting maybe like I remember there was that game that had the jet skis on it, and you started out getting I don't know, 1,200 or something for not even doing anything. You didn't have to move. You just had to sit in the game. And then suddenly they dropped it to zero, and everyone was all up in arms, which really is nothing to complain about. If you're not going to do the game, why should you get a reward? But it is nice if you're, I mean, when you're sitting there playing the game for a while and you need to go get some food, you're like, okay, I'm just going to sit here and idle for a few minutes was game. Like it's nice to get something. So they've gone just drastically in different directions. I recall, I think in Halloween there was something like 2,200 in one game for being AFK. I want to say it was maybe the tile game, but which that seems like a little ridiculous to get that much and have the difference between doing nothing and like putting maximum effort be only maybe 1,000. And then in the lunar update, they only had 600, so who knows that? But yeah, that'll be a big question. But I think that is pretty much it. If I recall, the server shuts down pretty much after this. So yeah, they only run the test lab for a little bit. But if they start it up again with anything new, I'll record it and show you. So thanks for watching.